mother like? Well, we now have the answer. She's a witch. She's a smoking hot witch. Manukau, make some noise for the lovely, the talented Ruth Connell!
Thank you for the hot introduction. It's a nice way to start the morning.
Indeed, welcome to New Zealand.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited to be here. I really am. I was like a kid at Christmas on the plane, and my old boss is from Wellington. Wellington?
Yes!
Is that right? Is that how you say it? And I was like texting him, I'm going to New Zealand. So I'm here, and I'm like, wow.
So, you can start if you like, or we've got some questions lined up ready for you.
Okay, cool. And like, I've not done this before, so you stay and keep me company?
For security reasons, I'll stay up here.
Okay, you want to have a seat? I'm a bit weird of sitting on this in opportune moments. Hi. Okay, so I always really admire the people that get up to ask questions. I think it's pretty brave. I know how much my heart thumps when I ask questions at like film Q&As, so I have a little wristband to give anybody who asks a question, because you're very brave. They're very pretty pink wristbands, and I'll explain what they're from in a little while. So, first person, what's your name? Where are you from? What do you want?
My name is Dora. I was born here in New Zealand. And first off, I've got like 5 things to say, so I'm probably going to forget like a couple of them. One is that one of my friends, Liz from Homa, says that she loves you. That's obvious that she wants to meet you. Second of all, I don't know if you remember, but during Christmas I sent you an animated pony gift.
I remember a few My Little Pony things at the time. I lost friends over that. People who know me in LA were like, what's going on with the My Little Ponies? It was fun.
It was just Misha.
It's just Misha.
And so I was wondering if I should give you a plushie of that pony, but I decided that'd be a little bit weird, like a weird pony voodoo doll version of you. So instead I decided to make you this little mixed bag tapestry.
Oh my god! Thank you so much. Should I be afraid? Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yes,
thank you. And that's a little wristband to say thank you.
Thank you very much.
And you look amazing.
Thank you. I did actually have a question, which was, what was your last day on set like? See, because I kind of figured you were going to die because you were coming to New Zealand. I'm like, that wouldn't happen unless something happened to Rowena.
So, first of all, I need to understand. So, season 10 is airing here. Oh, 11 is airing. Oh, I was told it was 10. You're up to date? Ah, so I can just say loads of spoilers. It doesn't matter. Ah, okay. Okay, so. You all stream it legally anyway. Don't say that. That doesn't happen. What I can talk about is filming the scene where what are we calling him? Cassifer? Lustiel? This whole shipping thing was like a whole new world for me as well, with the whole supernatural fandom. But anyway, I digress. So I can talk about filming that scene with Misha when he bloody well killed me. You can say bloody well, can't you, in New Zealand? At this time in the morning. Bloody hell. That's terrible New Zealand accent, isn't it? Can somebody say it in a New Zealand accent? You don't swear? That's swearing? In Scotland, that's mild. I'm just telling you, that's really not swearing. Bloody. Well, when Misha bloody well killed me. It was actually quite physically painful. Mainly because, sorry, I don't sit down, I'm like a little buzz bomb, is that okay?
That's fine. You do it.
Just you relax there, talk amongst yourself.
I can follow you. That'll be a bit stalkerish.
That'll be really weird. So, let's do that. Okay, now it's getting weird. So, I don't know if you could quite see it in the scene, but when I had to kind of break my own neck, which if you do that repeatedly, let me tell you, ouch, whiplash. And then it was like, I had to slump backwards like this, and Misha was supposed to be supporting me with his arm. And then like fall to the ground, and at that point they would switch in a stunt double because it's a stone concrete floor, and she would smack down. Boy, Julia, her name is, and she's the same height and similar size to me. So I used to be a dancer, thank God. So I would break my own neck and then go like this and be stuck in a back bend as Misha would continue on and just be Lucifer and like totally forget like I was upside down, completely relying on him. So it was physically painful, it was emotionally painful, but a little bit sexy. Because of the bits before it. No, it wasn't. What I will tell you is that Misha has a special nickname for me. And it's you want to know? What's it worth? What's it worth? Oh, okay. He calls me earlobe. And I'm going to leave that with you and go on to the next question. Okay, so these wristbands, I'll explain to you now. I support a charity called My Hope Chest. You know the Creation Stands t-shirts? So, this charity I support is My Hope Chest. This is quite early in the morning for this as well, I realise. Because boobs. Thank you! Because there's not really anybody that doesn't like boobs, is there? Even if you don't have them, you like them or you want them. Or if you have them, you know what I mean? And it helps pay for women. It's a really practical charity. Because the whole breast cancer awareness thing is a bit like, it's not really a charity, it's just a marketing concept. But this is an actual charity where the money pays for women to have reconstruction who can't afford it. Which I think is really like... In America, I'm not sure what the healthcare system is like here, but when I first went to America, I got terrified because you have to pay for everything and it's extortionate. And imagine going through something as horrific. Stopped myself out. It's quite comfy down here. Thanks. I thought, imagine going through something as horrific as cancer and then not being able to pay to get your boobs back. So this is what they support, so they're very special to me and to lots of women. So I'm going to crawl over there in a second and give you one. When you tell me what's your name, where are you from, and what you want to know.
My name is Lola.
Lola?
Lola. You can say Laura. Like, nobody can pronounce
Laura.
it. I'm from Germany. And it's like a big coincidence that I'm actually here because I'm an exchange student for 3 months and I just saw an advertisement for this and I saw you in that advertisement and I had to come.
So cool, we have such an amazing German fan base as well, that's so cool.
Yeah, and I could now go on and on about how much I love the show and how much I love you and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, then on you go.
I think it would be kind of unfair to the other people who want to ask questions as well, so
Okay.
I wrote a letter and I couldn't help but notice how much you kind of love to support fans in the form of fan art stuff, but sadly I'm not a very artistic person, so I wrote a poem.
Oh, that's beautiful,
in here
thank
as
you.
well.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth, thank you. Thank you so much. What was do you have a question as well?
Yeah, my question is, I saw your interview and you talked about how you sang at Nashville.
I played Nashville, everyone.
Yeah.
I played Nashville. I'm not a singer, but I have played Nashville.
You did, and we don't have karaoke here, so I was wondering if we could just sing something right now.
Okay, what would you like to sing?
I don't know, I'm not a music person. I thought I'd ask.
Okay, well,
Do you know a little tune called, Morax Fairy Glen?
Morax, Fairy Glen. It sounds like something I should know because it sounds the most Scottish sounding bloody song I've ever heard.
Well, I happen to have some words here, but they might refresh your memory.
Is it Borax at Leviathan thing?
I have never, this is fascinating, I've never seen this.
Really, what was your dad's job?
Yeah, but I mean, football?
That's like the...
This is like a football
That's the team
chant.
song for the Shire.
For East Stirlingshire?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Learn
Learn
something new every
something
day.
new every freaking day.
Hashtag do your research.
Hashtag this is weird. You know more about my life than I do. Can you pull it up? Somebody singing it?
No, I can try.
Oh, you can't see. So it'd have to be one you'd know from the stands.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so. Can you send me that?
Yeah, sure.
2 more eggs for your.
You might have to give me your email address though.
That's what they all say. Thank you so much. Okay, so Nashville, chasing you back now. At Nashville, at the conventions in where is it? America. Place over there. Because you know Rob Benedict. Oh my God, we all have a crush on him. Even Rich.
He's cute.
He is. And so he has a band, Loud and Swain, and they're a proper band that have been going for 20 years. And they play them. I just saw them at the Viper Room, and they're super cool. They're really good. And so they're at all the conventions, and they play us on and play us off, and then it's evolved into this. There's a Saturday night concert where they play their own stuff, but then they also get people from the cast to sing covers of songs. So Jensen did you see the videos of Jensen doing the whip post?
I think you've got no idea how jealous every single one of us is when they watch it like on YouTube, and they think of the people who are actually there, and we actually can't go there.
I'm fully aware.
So we want you to sing now.
I'm fully aware. Did you see how much I'm avoiding this question? I'm fully aware. At any given moment, if I'm with boys, I am fully aware there's a couple of million people would kill to be in my position. I'm totally conscious of it. And so it's a weird thing because it kind of takes you out of it because you have to kind of, here's the news, right? Yeah, I'm a normal person, I fangirl as well. And I have to not do that when I'm working with someone. I have to try and be normal, and it's hard sometimes. I understand. So the song I sang was Son of a Preacher Man, and I was lucky enough to have Kim Rhodes be my backup singer. You know, Kim Rhodes backing me up. And I was really nervous because it was a really big gig. It was a couple of thousand people, and Jensen was singing, and I'm always a bit trying to impress him, you know. And it went quite well. Like, we got through it, and I didn't sing any really terrible flat notes that I was aware of. I'd had a whiskey. I was so excited at the end. Kim's there, she's just really there for you, that I jumped and I mounted her. I did this kind of rock and roll thing. And I was like, I am rock and roll. And this is all because of the supernatural fandom. There's no way in God's sweet earth I would ever get up in front of a crowd of people and sing, but because of the fandom, because everyone is so supportive, and tone deaf, I hope. I'm allowed. I get to do stuff like that, so I'm still shying away from the singing thing. I don't know what I could possibly sing just now.
We could do the boring stuff and sing Karen away with it. That's like the only song I know of that music.
What song?
Standard version of songs in Supernatural.
Oh.
The one that everyone knows.
My wayward son.
Yeah, that one. So everybody can sing. We should do that at the end though. Like, it's normally at the end.
Yeah, there's a song I've written a little bit that's something to do with supernatural.
You can sing it.
And if you promise not to tweet it, you promise? Do you? Seriously? I'll sing a tiny little bit of it, and then in about a few months' time it will make sense. Yeah? Is that a deal? Can we do that? Can we keep it in this room?
Put your phones down, no recording. All recording devices down.
Okay, I'm gonna. Hi, what's your name? Where are you from? What do you want? I've got to try and be a little bit Rowena as well, I forget.
I'm Bailey, and I'm from Manukau, down south. Come up here.
Cool.
My question is, do you have any stories from the first day that you filmed with the cast?
Yeah, thank you for your question. Thank you, darling. So first day on set, luckily they flew me up. It was Jensen who was directing it, and the episode was Sole Survivor, and I had no lines, thank God. All I had to do was, I can't say F it up, can I? I can say F it up, but I can't say the full bomb.
Hang on.
Kim Rhodes would, just so you know, FYI, Kim would have dropped the F-bomb by now 10 times. You know that. So all I had to do was, I didn't even have to take a drink. All I had to do was this, hold on. All I had to do was this. Right. And do you know how easy it is to stuff that up? I was so nervous. And it was a really quiet set. Serge, who does the cinematography, is a very quiet French Canadian. Very respectful because Jensen's directing the episode. Everyone's going about doing their thing. And it's early in the season, so people are still switched on. It's not episode 23 when they're deranged. And I had kind of been, you get hair and makeup done in the works. I love that they call it the works. Like you go in like this, and you come out like this. Because they work in you. And I'd been in the works and brought to set, and I remember Jensen standing leaning against the wall, and he was like, another redhead. And I was like, well, what a feisty bunch. I didn't say that, that's what I said in my head, but I wasn't witty enough to say it out loud. In hindsight, my fantasy life, that's what I said, and it was really funny. We were instant friends. Anyway, no, it was honestly everything I could do to do that. And somebody, Moira, who's the person who looks after your costume and who makes sure your necklace is on straight and all that kind of stuff on set, she doesn't know this, but I heard her walking away going, she's really tiny. Small, the best things come in small packages.
She seems perfectly sized to me.
Very petite. No, I don't mind being small. Mark makes a big thing about it. Mark goes on and on and on and on and on. If he was here, he would just be singing songs about midgets and things. That's what he does. Short. All that. Never ending. And I'm like, well, you know, he's been the smallest for so long. He's just happy there's somebody smaller than he is. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sitting down. This is quite... I made myself...
Next question.
Oh, what's your name? Where are you from? What do you want?
Hi, I'm Victoria. I'm just from Auckland, I guess.
Just from Auckland?
Yeah, just nothing interesting.
You didn't come from Germany or...
No, nothing like that.
No, never mind.
Well, first I just want to say thanks from a few of my friends. My friend Jazz in Australia, she says you're her senpai.
She says what?
Senpai. Her senpai.
This is when you start to feel old. Like you're like, there's just things that you don't understand. But anyway, moving on.
And my other friend who can't be here today, just wants to say hi.
Hi back.
And my question is actually like a question basically between my friends. There are two down there, the Pikachu and my one right here. Would you like to join the cult of Chuck?
The cult of Chuck?
Yes.
Is this to do with Rob?
Yes.
I'm in.
We've got a lovely sheet.
Okay.
Yep. You'll be our elder, well, very...
I'll tell you what, I'll make a deal with you.
Yeah.
I'll join... I'm going to show him this next week.
Oh, yes!
I'll join the cult of Chuck if you will all join the V Club Mega Coven.
Yeah!
Do you know what that is? Do you want to know? Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to forget your wristband. No. Thank you for your question. I'm not sure if it was a question, but anyway. So, you know what? You've had the episode of the Mega Coven, which, yeah, did you? Yeah. It's clearly the greatest idea that's never been followed through on ever. Definitely. Is that any use? Definitely? Definitely. Okay, so do you know what the V Club is? I think it's too early. I think it's too early in the morning. Misha is treasurer of the V Club. Can you all do this? You got to squeeze your cleavage, and this goes for men especially. Ones with ginger beards. So you got the V Club mega cover. I can't work out if it's okay to say vagina in this room. Is it okay?
Well, it's too late now.
Well, it's just a name for something, isn't it? And it's good to call things by the proper names, I've been told. So the V Club is just Pro V. Anyone who's Pro V, and Misha is Pro V. Janet and Jens seem to be as well. Mark was like, I'm more Pro V than you. His wife's just had a baby. Isabella Rose. So there is a V Club Mega Dance Mega Mix. And you have to do it to be inaugurated and initiated into the Mega cover. Who wants to do it? And Ashland was like, yes! And I videoed it and I put it on Facebook. And I would do the same if you guys would want to do it. Is there enough room in your seats? Can you stand up? Do you want to do it? I think you should do it. I think you want to be a member. I can tell you want to be a member. Okay, so I can see you at the back. Do I need to come up there? Okay, so ready? And I go 3, 1, 2, 3, and I have to remember because I sometimes forget to say 3. I say after 3 and then I just start, which is bad. Okay, after 3, 1, 2, 3. I can see all you guys. V Club Mega, and this is the sexy bit. Disco ball change, disco ball change. And then you have to get American now. Hell yeah. Yeah? Come on, come on, come on. You ready? Up. Okay, and you gotta say it at the same time. You gotta say it, because that helps. You ready? Okay. Say it. V Club Mega. Disco ball change, disco ball change. Yeah. Okay, I can hear you. I couldn't hear anybody else. If you do it loud, I will record it and post it and you'll go viral. Okay. Does that sound like a deal? Okay.
Come on, Manukau, let's do yourselves proud. Get out of your seats.
You weren't expecting a workout at this time in the morning, were you? Ha ha ha.
It looks like it's the new YMCA.
If Rowena were to run hell, this is what would be happening all the time. Okay, so do you need another rehearsal or are you good?
Another one.
One more. Okay, ready? Are you going to stand up or no? You're not playing? Lève-toi. Is that French for get up? I don't know why I'm speaking French. Okay. Et-tu? Right, ready? After 3. 1, 2, 3. V Club Mega. Disco ball change, disco ball change. Okay, so the thing that sells it is the hell yeah. Yeah? That's the thing that really sells it. Madam, I can see you're sitting there, dying to join in the green top, the glasses.
Even if you don't want to do the hand movements, at least just stand up.
Okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. Ready? Okay. Okay, I'm going to work out how to work my phone now. Did you see the Vegas one? You saw it? Good. Okay, so... Oh, that's facing the wrong way. No, thank you. Okay, so... You ready to... Okay. Hello, New Zealand.
Kia ora.
Ready for your inauguration into the V Club Mega? Ready? After 3. 1, 2, 3. V Club Mega. Disco ball change. Disco ball change. Yeah! Woo! You sold it. You sold it on the hell yeah. You really did. Well done. Well done. I'll post it. I'll not do it now, I'll do it when I get off the stage. And you can tag yourselves and retweet it and do you know what I mean? Thank you. I'm sure that's not what you're used to doing, is it? I mean, shake up. What else can I do that's really random? What? Okay. Okay. there's a picture, it's the funniest picture I've seen of Jared, and he's got Rowena's hair. Have you seen it? It's a really, whoever's cut out the face and the hair has matched, it almost looks like it could be his ginger wig. I showed him it recently and he did laugh. He's probably seen 400,000 things like that before, but I'm still quite new, do you know what I mean? It's still a novelty for me. Hello, what's your name? Where are you from?
Hi.
What do you want?
Pardon?
What do you want?
I'm Annabelle, I'm from Auckland. Just need to move my iPad so I can see you. Oh my god, it's so good to meet you. I'm fangirling. Okay, I've always wanted to know what a really epic moment for you on set was, like if something really badass happened. Oh, thank you.
There's two things that pop to mind. One involves lube, and it is definitely too early for that prank joke story. It's too early. The other one that springs to mind is I love the whole episode that Rashad directed. I think it's called Prisoner. Is it? My brain. It's the one where Crowley throws Rowena out. Do you know the one I mean?
Oh, that's a good episode.
It's beautiful. I had so many. Andrew Dabb wrote. It's the one where I'm naked painting the sigils. Yeah, I fell out of bed when I read that script. Jesus. But there's the scene when he's throwing me out. It was quite technical because I am short. Okay, right. We've accepted that. And Mark, even though he's not that tall, is taller, and so they had built a runway for me to walk along. And it was just, I'm such an acting geek. I'm such a geek for the craft of acting, and I really
So
am.
am I.
Yeah, I'm scared about it. And I was, for whatever reason, I was really in the right place. I was just bawling my eyes out at him throwing me out. I really felt it for Rowena. I marked at this beautiful thing. I'll use my model. And it's just a bit, so you're Rowena, so you have to bend down. It's fine. And he just touched my face. And it just, I really felt like, you can get back on how, all the thing about does she love him, does she hate him, does he love her, she's still a woman getting thrown out who has nowhere else to go. And I love Rowena. I know people love to hate her, but I really feel for her, and that was one of my favourite moments to film, so thank you for your question, because I got to talk about that. Thank you. How are you all doing? Do I have another panel tomorrow? No, this is it? But I'll see you. I'll see you at the signings and the photo ops.
Just find out Christchurch.
Christchurch. And tonight at the cocktail party.
Yep.
Hello. What's your name? Where are you from? What do you want?
I'm Sabrina Lee, I'm from Auckland, and I was just wondering what it was like working with the cast.
What it was like working with the cast? It's bloody awful. Bunch of chancellors. Thank you. The show's been running, you might know this, the show's been running for 11 years. So it's a well-oiled machine, which is my first TV show in America. So to turn up on a set that runs in that way is a wonderful experience for an actor. I hear my friends are on new shows and people are still there's ego and people are still trying to find their place and prove their worth and fill their roles and all that, and it just isn't like that. Everyone's cool as a cucumber. And I'm fully aware how lucky I am having worked with Jared and Jensen and Misha and Mark. I mean, it gets a bit boring, doesn't it? Like, oh, it's just wonderful, they're all wonderful. But they are, and it is, and it was, and I think, I feel like I wouldn't be sick in my mouth if I'm any nicer about them. Do you know what I mean? I have to say, I loved being directed by Jensen. Because he let me do what I wanted. I'm one of those, I'm like, I've got an idea, and he's like, just do it. And so things like this, the first episode of season 11 where I kind of screamed, that wasn't in the script, but I wanted to do it, and Jensen let me do it and then asked for it to be in the trailer, and it feels really creative to have been supported in that way by somebody as wonderful as he is. I would die for him, and I really would, yeah, not just because he's hot. He's really generous as a director. Yeah, so have I waffled on enough about that? Yeah. What's your name? Where are you from? What do you want? Hi.
I'm Michaela from Auckland.
Michaela. Okay, so my lodger in London is called Michaela, and she's from Auckland. I told her I was coming here.
I was wondering, did you get any pranks played on you on set, or did you play any on Misha?
Thank you for your question. It takes a bit of balls to play a prank in the boy. I mean, also because you don't want to slow filming down, because it's like time is money. I did do something that might be in the gag reel, so I don't want to say what it is in case it spoils it for the gag reel. But what I will tell you is that you know you're finally being accepted when Jared and Jensen prank you, except if you're a theatre person and you're like, finish the scene, and they're standing in front of you with stuff in their hands they should not have in their hands, and you're just like, finishing the scene, like there's nothing wrong, and it's like you completely kind of probably ruin, because you don't break, because you're finishing the scene. So I might get into trouble if I say what they did, but it did involve a loop. That's all I can say. That's as far as I can go. But they love it, and they love it when you, I called Jensen Big Boy at one point. Like, we don't even know what that means or what it's referring to, but they let you. I called Jared Cowboy and all kinds of stuff. I called Mark. The sausage thing was just me calling Mark a sausage. And they kept it in, and it's got the most gifts of anything else I've done in the show. So it's a lovely set for that environment. Well, it was until they bloody well killed me. Is that right?
No one stays dead, supernatural.
Charlie, she's dead. No, I mean they burned her bones. I was concerned. I know, and I feel like if Rowena were to come back, which I would love to happen, she could bring. She's a powerful enough witch. She would know some magic that could bring Charlie back, right? No. I feel like we've cried wolf too many times with this stuff, haven't they? But yeah, there's stuff happens. There's some people who've been killed and who just don't come back. True.
Hashtag bring back Rowena.
You know what I loved in South America and Brazil? It was hashtag SPN back Rowena, so it was bad English, but I loved it because they were just like back Rowena, and it was trending in South America. Stuff like that blows my mind. You guys online, it blows my mind. It's incredible. Hello.
Hi, my name's Melanie. I live in Auckland, and what I want is a weekend with Jensen.
You want to work with Jensen?
No, a weekend with him.
Oh, weekend? I don't want to work with him, I just want a weekend.
I'm taking him for a weekend instead.
Are you allowed? Are they allowed? Sorry, is she allowed to do a photograph?
Oh, no.
I don't mind, but I don't know, because I don't want to get into trouble with. Okay, we're just talking, eh? We're just caught in action.
I am so deep.
You're so dead.
And my question is, after you've had a few drinks at the cocktail party tonight, will you tell us some more of the stories you can't tell? Please? I see what
It depends how many whiskies go down. Hey, guess what though? I'm going to meet some people later on tonight who might get me very drunk, because the National Theatre of Scotland is in Auckland right now at the same time I'm here. I'm like, what? So my friends are in town. Isn't that amazing? push them a little bit. They're doing the James plays. If you've got any interest in Scottish history, it's about James the First, Second and Third of Scotland, which is really not much is known about. And they're doing these amazing shows written by a woman, Rona Munro, and they're amazing. I saw them all. I went three in a row, so it's like 7 or 8 hours of theatre in one day, but you can watch them separately. Anyway, that's my plug for the National Theatre of Scotland. Can you tell them I did that? I'll get free tickets next time.
Seamless.
Seamless. Hello, what's your name? Where are you from? What do you want?
Oh, hi.
Who are you dressed as? Tell me.
I am dressed as Jason Todd, but a female version, so red hood.
I like it.
From Batman, yeah. My name is Lucy, and I'm from Wellington originally. Best city in New Zealand.
That's what my boss would say.
Yeah, exactly. It is the capital for a reason. So my question for you is, if you could have played any other character in Supernatural, male or female, who would you have wanted to play?
Okay, thank you for your question.
Thank you.
I love playing Rowena. She had the best dresses.
Yes.
No, just. I would like to play Sam for a day just to know what it's like to be that freaking tall. I'd like to play Crowley for a day.
Yes.
I just love those episodes with they had him in his hands and he's licking the ground. Just for so many personal reasons. Everyone has so much fun. There's so many characters that have so much fun. Yeah, I'd like to be all of the boys for a day. And maybe Abaddon, because she was really hot. And Elena's my buddy. She's so beautiful in the show. So I'm not really picking one, am I? I'm not really answering your question very well.
That's okay.
So yeah, all of the above. But probably Sam, just as I said, just to get that height perspective.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Hello. How are we all doing? What's your name? Where are you from? Where do you want?
I'm Georgina. I'm from Hull in England, which is by Scotland.
You're from Hull?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
My question is...
Did you travel here for this?
No, we've settled here, but the accent's still really strong.
Hull?
And we sort of need a translator at points.
Yeah. I know Hull. I've been to Hull.
Yeah. It's terrible.
It's so funny. It's like the most random place to be from and be here.
My question is, what was it like to be a ballerina? Because my sister and I, we used to be ballerinas when we were younger. And we've always wanted to continue it, but we never could. So what was it like?
So I did ballet from the age of 4. And I got into Scottish ballet classes and I was Clara in the Nutcracker. And that's really when I got the acting bug. Because when you're Clara in the Nutcracker, when you're 12 and you walk out to the Theatre Royal stage in Glasgow, you're still young enough to have a kid's imagination. And like, it was my living room. It's probably the best acting experience I've ever had. It's what gave me the bug to want to keep doing that, and I love being in the company. Ballet is weird. It's nuts. It's so... The contortions you're trying to put your body into, it's so tough on your body, and unless you're... To be a ballerina, you have to have an abnormal shape. You have to, weirdly shape, it's a whole world of pain. And I gave up dancing really when I was 24, just before chronic arthritis and injury. I mean, I've injured every single part of my body. It really is a labour of love. So I was addicted to it. That's what I'll say about ballet. It was an addiction. 9:15 in the morning, like this. It's a physical addiction. It's not the worst addiction to have, but I really take my hat off to people who are ballet dancers. I mean, it really is a labour of love, and it's an art form that you really suffer for, in my opinion. But it's a wonderful and beautiful thing to do. But I'm glad I segued out when I did, because I can still walk. And because some people's bodies are not built to take that much push and pull. So yeah, thank you for your question. I think it's a good fun thing to do, ballet. But yeah, you've all seen The Black Swan, it's all true. Is that right?
All of it?
Pretty much. Especially the kissing bit, yeah.
I'm going to write a ballet now with Madonna and Ruth.
I loved that movie. It's such a good thriller. Natalie Portman was amazing. She was not a prima ballerina. You know, people say, oh, she became, it's like, no, that's a disservice to real ballerinas everywhere, but she did an amazing job as an actress.
So unfortunately, this has to be the last question.
No!
Sorry, it's the scheduling. So no pressure.
Make it
good.
You're so beautiful. Look at you. You're so cute. What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Talia. I'm from Auckland. Sorry.
Sorry. I'm getting worse.
Hold the mic up.
I wanted to know if you could come back to the show and have a scene or an episode with any other actor or character from previous seasons, who would it be?
Okay. Thank you for your question. You're so cute. Can I have your hair? There was a scene in Hell, and we realised that 1 to 5 on the call sheet was there, Misha, and I think it was Jens who was like, oh my god, it's the first time all 5 of us have been all in a room together, and that was a lot of fun. I would want that situation again. So sorry, I'm not picking one, but that was a lot of fun, and I think that's what's fun. What was fun until they bloody well killed her. What was fun about Rowena is she could go toe to toe, 1 to 1 with all of the men, and that's the way she was written. Not why that's just the way she was written, and that was a fantastic gift of a part to have. I can't believe it's done. I have to stop waffling. I have to stop talking.
I'm terribly sorry, but you've been told that you have to get off.
Okay.
So Manukau